Welcome to Flesh and Pod, a flesh and blood podcast, breaking down weekly news and notes from the tournament scene, community drama, game strategy, and more. And now, here are your hosts, Derek and Logan. Welcome to Flesh and Pod, a flesh and blood podcast, breaking down weekly news and notes from the tournament scene, community drama, game strategy, and more. And now, here are your hosts, Derek and Logan.
Hello, and welcome to episode 158 of Flesh and Pod. My name is Logan. I am your host, and with me as always is Charmer, obviously.
Wait, should I be like on the ground with the lights off?
Yes, you should. You should be doing your best impression of a floor worm. There we go.
Is that better?
Now we are doing
We can just
a perfect Charmer impersonation. Yeah,
there we go.
There it is.
This is
Okay.
All right.
The daggers are real.
I love you, Charmer.
Derek was not able to record, and so at last minute, and very thankfully joining me is the Empress of Volcor, Mara Faris. Mara, again, thank you very much for being here especially on short notice. You're doing two podcasts back to back, which is fucking just psychopathic, by the way.
Shout out to Savage Land News. I just recorded a Vincent primer with them like literally 5 minutes ago.
I do enjoy them. Mm-hmm. They do good work.
Yeah.
So anything new? Well, I mean, you became a Vincent gamer, so that's different.
Did become a Vincent gamer. That's kind of fun.
Well, I guess you only did that really because it was hard. You only choose to do things that are difficult until you figure out how to make them easy. That's
not true. Droma is still hard.
Well, you made it easy.
I did.
When you said 0, 4, take stuff.
You solved my riddle.
Right. It wasn't very fucking Ridley.
Yeah. I will admit, I do find that I really enjoy the heroes that make me think, the heroes that like really push me to the limit. I think this is like, I was actually laughing with some of my locals recently that like the like brand that I espouse has evolved from like, oh, I was the illusionist main to like, then I was just the Jerome main. And it was like, oh, then I'm the 0 for 4s main. And then I think I just realized I was like, no, I just like ridiculously complicated shit.
Yeah.
And that's really it.
That sounds real.
I like, because like when Aurora came out, I was like super excited. I was like, man, it's just all 0 for 4s and I get to play the aggro game and it's going to be great. And I played it for like a week and I was like, this is boring. I've solved this deck already. I don't want to do this anymore.
It is fairly boring until you hit the random game states that are not. Mm-hmm. But it takes one out of every 5 games, really? Yeah. 5 matches to kind of get there.
Yeah, and I don't want to show I do really like Aurora. Aurora's a ton of fun.
I have a blast playing. I love playing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm even considering a Living Legend, which we'll get to shortly.
Yeah, but I will say this: in Portland, I played Vincent, and I created game states so complicated. I had a judge self-appeal their own ruling.
Huh.
I had a game state where I told my opponent my line. My opponent said, I don't think that works. I'd like to call a judge. And I said, by all means. We called a judge. I explained the game state to my judge. And the judge said, I don't know how this works. I'm going to go ask the head judge. And then the head judge came over and I explained the game state to the head judge. And the head judge said, yep, that checks out. Carry on.
Huh. There you go.
This is why I love Vincent. Yeah, for anyone at home wondering, it was an Eloquence token, Funeral Moon, respond to Eloquence token trigger, pay life with Vincent, hold priority, play second Funeral Moon, re-trigger the same Eloquence token, get 2 action points and 2 rune chance.
Huh. Which that actually does check out.
Yeah.
Huh. Because
the Eloquence token doesn't sacrifice until the resolution of the Eloquence token ability. And because
it's not part of the cost.
Yeah, and because you can stack the triggers with the Vincent hero ability, seeing the shadow non-attack played, pay the life, then now have fulfilled the condition of life being lost to play the second Funeral Moon, which is then now played as an instant, but still the Eloquent still sees it as a non-attack, which then triggers a second time, resolving the go again on both Eloquence tokens, gaining 2 action points at the end of the stack.
And at the end of all of this, you lost a life.
I lost 1 life, gained 2 rune chance, and 2 action points.
Right. I think that's good rate.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a good rate.
It's great rate
Okay.
when you send 1 card 10s.
Well, that's true. There's a lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. The hard part is when like people make you block. That's when it sucks.
Oh, you haven't seen my Vincent list. My Vincent list blocks.
Apparently,
for
I'm
days.
not. Oh, you just like to block?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess you did become a Guardian main at some point. So
This is the closest I've ever come to playing a Guardian deck. This is what I do. I suck the joy out of every deck I touch. I just go in and I make all the players mad because they all just want to do cutesy fun shit, and I'm just like, but the consistent thing. Just do the consistent thing. Stop trying to be cute. I did it with Dromai when I just cut all the blues and all the big stupid dragons. Like, I refuse to play like Tomotai and Dominia in my Dromai decks because I'm just like, I don't know. These are hard to cast and I don't like that. I don't like drawing hands that go, I don't do the thing. And then I did it with Dio, where I told them to all stop playing like Tome and Maxby and just 4s and grenades. I was like, just do that. It's consistent. You don't need to be cute. I genuinely told people that Dio got a huge buff after the book banning because people were forced to stop playing bad cards. And then I did it with Vincent, where I'm just like, everyone wants to go like, I set up these 3-wide go again rune gate scary turns. I'm like, I don't know, just block and send 10.
it is 10.
Yeah. If you just,
I mean, 10's a lot.
you just block and then send a 1 card 10 and then they die. Like, you don't have to do cute shit. Just block, send 10.
That's true.
Block 9, send 10 wins a lot of games.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
Block 9, send 10. Fuck them.
Yeah. That's all you have to do. You just do that over and over again and then people die.
Yeah, it's true. We're gonna do quick news and notes. We're playing fast and loose tonight because I don't really. As soon as Charmer had sent me a message saying, "Hey, sorry I can't go tonight," while I was cooking some noodles. Shout out to Mila Dumplings, by the way, which are like a mail order. Hashtag no free ads.
Hashtag no
But
free ads.
they're a mail order, like they send like flash frozen dumplings to your house.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And then noodles too, and they're really fucking good.
Now I want noodles.
They were really good noodles, just like sweet and savory noodles. They also have spicy dan noodles, which are fantastic.
I do like spicy noodles.
I do love spicy noodle. Spicy noodles, best noodle.
Mm-hmm.
Quick news and notes though. Calling Kuala Lumpur, which was CC, which we kind of don't care about right now.
We are in kind of like that lame duck CC format where like no one really cares. We're just waiting for the new set.
That's true. But living legend points are still a thing and have some concern for future
Enigma,
text.
go away.
No. But this one was won by Zen, Nick Butcher on Zen. Top 8 was this is getting a little bit congested as far as the hero spread goes. So 1 new, 3 Aurora, 2 Zen, 1 Viserai, and 1 Ira. For those of you counting at home, that is 1 Assassin and 4 Rune Blades and 3 Ninjas. Kickback. So we're starting to coalesce again towards the top of the CC metagame, which is kind of to be expected with this really being, I think this is really the last CC event, right? Before like sort of the break until
there's I think a couple of small ones. I don't know if there's another calling. I know there are at least a couple
Hunted
of
comes out.
I know there are at least a couple of battle hardens for sure. Like I know because we have battle harden Atlanta coming up that I'll be in. I don't know if there's another calling. If there is, it's not in the States.
There's Hong Kong January 3rd through 5th. And Atlanta January 3rd through 5th.
Yeah.
And then Toronto the 10th and 12th. Toronto is Classic Constructed. And Hong Kong is Dramatic Pause. Classic Constructed. Okay, so there are a few CC events still.
Yeah, like I said, there's a couple of battle hardens at the very least, but yeah, I don't think there's is Hong Kong's a battle harden, right?
Yep, those are all battle hardens.
Yeah, so I don't think there's any callings.
Right. So we are getting to like the tail end of that before Hunted comes out, and then that will be the entire format through Pro Tour London.
Yeah.
And until the next set. So yeah, you're right. We're sort of in that lame duck season, which kind of feels a little solved-ish.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But we are also firmly in the hype cycle of, not that.
Mm-hmm.
Because Hunted hype cycle has already started too.
Yeah.
Which is always fun as fuck. They have figured out how to do the hype cycle.
I am kind of saying, so talking about something that they are doing new with this one that they sort of started doing in Rosetta and have sort of changed, but I'm really excited for. So in Rosetta, we only got the commons or the commons and uncommons and did not get the majestics and legendaries. So that
we got some of them.
Yeah,
but we didn't get all of them.
Sure, we got a couple, but like the majority of them we did not see until the world premiere because they wanted to make the world premiere feel exciting.
And it did.
And it did, and it was excellent, and I think it was a really cool decision. They have flipped that backwards this time, and I think I like it better. We are gonna get the legendaries and majestics, but we are getting none of, or very few of, the commons this time around. So we're still gonna get that really big pop of hype going into the world premiere, and it actually feels like almost more fun for the world premiere players because the commons are like the bulk of that actual like format.
Mm-hmm.
So like people are going to be going into the world premiere really blind, but we still don't lose out because like I know there was a lot of complaint in the Rosetta hype cycle where a lot of people felt very uninvested because all we were seeing was the commons and this like very unexciting kind of cards. And like trying to watch a lot of the spoiler videos of people really trying to hype the 15th Zap was amusing, but led to a less energized, community, I think.
But Zap.
I like Zap. Zap's good. And we got some really good Zaps.
There were some pretty good Zaps.
We got some real good Zaps.
Those Zaps won me a Pro Quest.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's...
So
sometimes you
coming to London?
I'll be in London. I will be in London.
Yeah, we going to London. I'm so excited.
Prague and London will be at least two of the international trips I take this year.
Yeah, I was like very close to doing Prague, but I think the money is just a little tighter than I want it to be. So I'm gonna be London for sure.
Because our appearance fees haven't cleared.
That is true. Yeah,
it's all our fault.
Yeah, I mean a lot of things are your fault. Let's be real.
Sure, but ignore that we don't pay appearance fees ever. And
yeah, if you did,
so
if you paid the appearance fee that I deserve, I could go to Prague.
Okay. Let's do this one. What is the appearance fee you deserve, Mara?
Well, the flight to Prague is $615.
Correct. That's it? That's the appearance fee, huh?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
No, absolutely not. Love you to death. No. But
all right, I'm willing to compromise. $613. I'll cover the last
the last
50%, give or take, whatever that is. I don't know what that number is.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing that either. But we did wind up with a couple of Hunted spoilers, and one of them seems like, okay, let's shit on Wizards some more, which I'm all about, really.
Oh, we're talking about the quiver?
The quiver. Yeah, Enchanted Quiver.
It is like very fine. I'm like a little bit sad that was the card that they like kicked off spoiler season with, was just like the most fine card.
Yeah, it's just a quiver. Instant destroy this, prevent the next one arcane that be dealt to you. If there's a face up arrow in your arsenal, instead prevent the next two.
Mm-hmm.
Like, great.
Yeah, like it is fine. It'll see play. The Rangers will be happy to have access to some decent spell void, but like, it's fine. It is.
Yeah.
Very, very fine.
Then we go into the stuff that's better than fine.
Yeah.
Because I like better than fine.
I do also like better than fine.
We get Ring of Roses, which I think this is the best art that Mark Poole has done for Flesh and Blood so far.
It is very pretty. It's
very pretty. This better be a cold foil because it'll look really good as a cold foil.
Oh, I hope so. That definitely should be a cold foil.
That should be a cold foil.
Zero
cost. Oh, go ahead.
I was saying, it is legendary. You're gonna read it, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's 0 cost, Earth Wizard action aura. Yellow pitch, block 3, legendary Verdance specialization, or Verdance, or Verdance, however
It's
you want to say
Verdant.
that fucking name. Verdant.
Verdant.
You just get it stuck in your throat.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to do here?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a joke in there I'm not gonna make. But
Stay classy.
go fuck yourself, San Diego. But the first time you deal arcane damage each turn, gain 1 life. That's just straightforward good Verdance gaming.
Yeah. Triggers Verdance.
Verdant.
Triggers
Verdant.
triggers the Verdant hero power, which means you're gonna also be doing a point of arcane. So getting an aura that never dies and stays in play and just basically gets you 2 value a turn. Great. Super fine. It is legendary though, which makes it a little bit weird because it's gonna be a little hard to kind of like you can't really build around it, but it's just gonna be like solid value.
Yeah, I mean, if you're really scared of something like this, there is Vaporized Shock you could have in your life to get rid of it.
I actually think that's actually one of the interesting things about it. So the fact that it's legendary does make it hard for the Verdant player to play around it or to build around it, but also makes it very difficult for an opponent to want to try to counter it. Like you don't really want to be playing like a whole bunch of these like aura removal spells because they have 1 copy of this. You know,
right?
You're gonna play the Vaporized Shocks, and you're gonna have 3 of them, and you're gonna be like, yeah, when they find it, I'm gonna mess that card up, and then you're just gonna draw it, and they have an empty board, and you'll be like, I don't know, 1 arcane, I guess. You did it.
Yeah.
You're gonna just
congratulations.
be like, all right, fine.
I mean, if it's the 1 arcane that ends the game, it feels fine.
Sure,
but
you can draw it in like turn 2 and just be like, well, I feel silly here.
we can pitch it.
It's a yellow, I think.
It's a yellow.
It's a yellow.
You can pitch it.
Right, sure.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
But this is one that I think that Verdance will just always play.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a card that won't just like radically reshape the hero, but like
no,
decidedly like happy to have.
Yeah, it's exactly a card I will put in my deck.
Yeah.
And that's great. Sometimes you just have those.
Yeah, I think this is like excellent use of that expansion slot. Just be like, here's a card that like we couldn't quite fit in the main set, but we want you to have. Here's a little like Christmas present.
Yeah, sometimes those things are Ring of Roses, and sometimes those things are Tome of Imperial Flame.
Yeah.
Right. Where one of them is, you know what? This is just going to go in the deck and everything's fine. And the other one completely warps the deck.
I still am on record by saying I don't think Tome of Imperial Flame was that good of a card. I'm actually not kidding. You
were on record long before you said that about how great Tome of Imperial Flame was.
Oh no, Tome of Flame. So this is my having played a whole hell of a lot of games with Tome of Imperial Flame. It's a good card.
You don't say.
It is a good card. I'm not going to be like it's terrible. But it is not nearly as like I think a lot of people think that card is like wildly game breaking, and it's not.
No.
It's a blue pitch in a deck that doesn't otherwise get access to blue pitches.
Right.
That's it.
And especially early, it manufactures the game around a lot of what it can do, which is really important because you just get free ash.
It is +1 free ash, which is nice. It is 1 extra ash over what you would normally just be doing with a red, which is pitching to just make an ash. So
which early, that's great.
Yeah. Like I say, it is a solidly fine card. Comes with some very real costs. It's a no block. It doesn't actually do anything on its own. You know, you have to be able to hold a hand. I have lost plenty of games where I've drawn it in endgame and been like, oh, I have to block with 3 cards, and I get to hold this card that does nothing, and I die.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it costs you your headpiece, at least for Draw My. Like, playing a headpiece that does not block is very relevant.
But it gives you gold.
It does give you gold, which the gold is nice. But like, I can tell you, I am going to be playing Draw My in Chicago, which I'm sure we'll talk about. I'm very excited to play Draw My in Chicago. I have Tome of Imperial Flame in my 80. It will not be in every matchup. There are several matchups that I side that card out.
Yeah, you're probably not playing it against me. So
no,
because you want block.
I want block. Also, Balance of Justice exists, and getting Tome of Imperial Flame balanced feels kind of miserable.
Yeah, things I'm playing in Chicago are equal. Balance of Justice is in my 80.
Yeah.
So
Don't remember playing. Like I said, it is a card that is decidedly fine. It's a good value play. But when it has the extra text of your opponent draws a card, way less exciting.
Card that I hated that I started playing. Well, fuck it. We'll get to that in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to talk about Retrace the Past.
Sure.
Because if you want the definition of the card that Katsu wants to play, this is kind of how you draw it up.
I am pretty excited about this card. I think this card looks very cool to me.
Yeah, it's a blue that costs 0.
Mm-hmm. Not
So
that I
it's a
think
Kodachi
that
card.
he ever needs blues that cost 0 for any reason. I can't think of
That
any.
blocks 3. We're doing great here.
Yeah. Blue 0 cost block 3 is like the floor is just here already.
Yeah. Yeah, the floor is neck high at that point.
Like
it's 2 attack, but it's Katsu specialization, so it can't get abused by others. The combo on it is when this attacks of a card named with Gust Wave in its name was the last attack this combat chain, name a card. Then this gets that name plus 2 of power and go again, so it becomes a 0 for 4 go again, which we all know and love.
mm-hmm.
The fun part here is already being previewed by a good friend, esteemed colleague, and man about town, Joshua Scott, that the rules will be changing with the Hunted, so you'll be able to name banned cards.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be able to name Bonds of Ancestry again, meaning that Dishonor is unbanned.
Yay!
Yay! Other fun stuff that I plan on doing, because this would be way more fun, is to attack and name this Crazy Brew, and then destroy this after it hits for Life of the Party all modes.
Can you do that?
It does work.
Does it actually? Because I'm never sure
works.
about like when combat chains close when you're playing non-attacks. Is it still it still exists when you play the non-attack?
It becomes Crazy Brew by name.
Oh wait, no, you don't have to break
Life
chain
of
for
the
Life
Party.
because Life Party's attack.
Right.
Never mind. Yeah.
So you just get to blow it up for a 0 for 6 go again,
Right.
gain 2 life.
That's kind of cool. Okay, all right, I'm in. I'm in the kitchen with you.
Yeah, Life of the Party Katsu. We're gonna fucking do this, and it's just fun. It's just good, clean fun for the whole family at that point.
Yeah, that's kind of awesome. I hadn't even considered that. That's neat.
Yeah,
Life of the Party's pretty wild.
Life of the Party is wild. I play it in Shiana, and
Yeah.
it is way too much fun.
Yeah, it's what? It's a 0 for 4. The modes are plus 2, gain 2 life, and go again.
It's a 2 for 4.
Yeah.
But
then you don't pay the cost, right? If you sack the Crazy Brew. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you discard or sack a Crazy Brew, you don't have to pay the cost. You get all modes. When you attack with it, you get a mode at random.
Mm-hmm.
And
am I right on the modes?
Yes,
plus 2,
plus
gain 2,
2,
go again.
Yes, plus 2, gain 2, go again.
So 0 for 8 with go again, effectively. It's not bad.
0 for 8. Yeah,
so 6, gain 2 life.
Yeah, it's 8 points.
Yeah,
put it that way. But yeah, it's really fun. I enjoy that kind of thing. I enjoy this just being, they did promise to put Katsu back on the menu a little bit, which is funny because Katsu's just a tenderloin.
Yeah.
But I love some good Katsu. But right now, I don't know if this is enough to say I would rather play Katsu than, let's say, Ira. But you're pushing towards it at least.
Yeah. It does a really good job of doing something that I think Katsu has struggled with lately, which is finding an identity again. I think after Katsu lost, not even after Katsu lost once we figured out that Zen was a better Bonds deck than Katsu, there was this point where it was just like, okay, everything that Katsu does, Zen just kind of does better. Any combo lines that you want to play in Katsu, you can just do in Zen, and then not need to worry about the on hit to resolve those things, and just be able to pitch a chi and do the same thing instead. So Katsu for a while has felt in this like weird kind of lame duck spot where you're like, yeah, I can do some cool things. You can play Tiger Katsu. You can play, you could play Bonds Katsu back when you could play Bonds. But every one of these things you had to look and just be like, yeah, but Zen just does it better. And I think I'm kind of excited to see us go into a world where you can say things like, yeah, Zen could do this thing, but Katsu does it better. And I'm happy to see that. I'm glad for Katsu to have, like, whether or not this really puts Katsu up to like S tier, I don't know. but I think it gives him enough of an identity to justify his existence.
Yeah, I think you start to feel more like you have 3 distinct ninja decks in the format again, whereas it hasn't felt like that in forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess is Fi technically still legal? I don't think so, but
there is a Fi deck. It's around. I'm hoping. I think Fi will probably get some love when we see. I mean, we've already seen some of the new cards, like.
But we're also looking at Fi just getting shoved across the finish line very fast.
Yeah.
If Fi gets anything worthwhile, because leaderboard wise,
yeah, he's what, 800 something.
I think it might be 9.
Is he 9?
No, it's 800. It's 796. So yeah. 9 is Dash. That's right.
Yeah, Dash. Poor Dash is gonna limp across the finish line.
Yeah, it's a very Briar type of showing out of Dash to get to the end of the line here.
Yeah,
so
hopefully at least like Briar at least got the big send off. Briar,
it's true.
Charles Dunn won U.S. Nationals with that fatigue Briar and got that like one last big. By the way, there's some shit nobody figured out on Briar, which was kind of a cool way to go out.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get to see some of that in Dash. I'd love to see Dash get like one last big hurrah.
And we're definitely gonna lose Zen in the next CC season though. Yeah, just gone.
Zen, you can take Enigma with you. It's like, all right.
Well, here's the thing. Zen's at 845, Enigma's at 690, but 600 of Enigma's 690 points came from Rosetta season. Whereas Zen 250 of them did. Yeah. So Enigma just kind of had this big glow up during this specific season.
Yeah.
And
Zen, Aurora, or Enigma, Jesus. Enigma is such a DPS check deck that like have I not had this conversation with you?
No, Enigma, but that's perfect.
Enigma is the DPS check of the format.
Oh my god.
So like when we were in a fast format, when we had bonds, she was unplayable. Every
stone unplayable.
Yeah, every DPS hero was like, yeah, I'm full legendaries. I don't care. I got the DPS. Can crush you. Just we can face roll this hero. And then they put out a balance patch and nerfed everything. So now all the DPS went down by about 20%, and now no one can clear the DPS check boss anymore. And now she's taking over the game.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah.
Having played a lot of World of Warcraft, that all checks out.
I did a lot of raiding.
This seems a lot like trying to run pieces of Ulduar before you had geared the party out, like geared your raid out, or even before that, getting past like Domo.
Baron
Geddon makes sense. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
I'm in a deep cut. I'm in a hard deep cut. She's Baron Geddon. Because that was Baron Geddon was.
Baron Geddon or Patchwork. Patchwork was also just that hard DPS check.
Sure.
Yeah. But man, we could just do an entire hour on WoW probably.
Oh god, don't make me.
I'm not going to make you. You should be excited to do that.
No. I quit WoW for Guild Wars. I played a lot of Guild Wars.
Wow, really?
Dude, Guild Wars was so good.
I quit WoW for life. Like, because I wanted to have one.
I don't understand. What is that?
I flew to Vegas and spent a week in Vegas, like, for the first time.
For like a game convention?
Nope. Just to go be a DGen.
I don't understand. Was there like a pro tour or something?
Nope. Just DGenning in Vegas.
I don't know DGen. Was that a raid wing?
Yes, it is a raid wing inside Caesar's Palace. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I follow you. All right, Caesar's Palace, I assume, is the expansion.
It's one of the many expansions of the Vegas Strip.
Okay. Yeah. Vegas. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Vegas Strip is the game. Caesar's Palace is the expansion. DGen.
Yep.
All right, we're good. All right, I understand now.
Yep.
All right.
Then they kept adding on like mini games like Egg Slut, which I love Egg Slut, but it's it's a very hard game to get into in general. But it's actually a really good restaurant, to be fair.
I have never been, but I've heard good things.
You've never been to Vegas, or you've never been to Egg Slut?
I've never been to Egg Slut. I've only ever been. All right. Here's. I'll give you the inverse of your degeneracy. I have been to Vegas once in my entire life. It was U.S. Nationals last year, was in Vegas. It's the first time I'd ever been to Vegas. I was stupidly excited because I was like, yep, gonna go to Vegas. I'm gonna go do all the Vegas things. And I had a whole bunch of stuff planned. And I booked a room at the event hotel where Nationals is being held. Yep. I booked at the Westgate. I got there a week early. I was there for a week. I was like gonna do all the stuff. I went into that hotel. And then a week later, I walked out of that hotel, went to my airport, and flew home. Because I was just there. I spent the whole week testing Flesh and Blood. There were like 4 restaurants there, so I didn't have to leave for food. And then I continued testing Flesh and Blood, and then I played Nationals, and then I went home.
How'd you do in that Nationals?
How did I do in that Nationals? I don't actually remember. I cashed. I want to say top 32. I might have been a little bit under 32nd. I don't remember. It was fine.
Would you have done better or the same or worse had you just done some Vegas?
Probably worse.
Okay.
I did like so it was productive testing. Like I was glad that I tested. However, that was the time that I learned the lesson. Now whenever I travel to anything that like beyond just like calling in Portland where there's nothing I want to do, I always stay until Tuesday. Because I know if I go early, I'm just going to play Flesh and Blood. I'm just like, if there's a major event, I'm here for the event. I'm going to like spend that whole time testing. But then I want to have a day afterwards where I'm like, event is done. There is nothing I can do. I don't want to play Flesh and Blood. I just want to go do something that's not Flesh and Blood. And that day after a calling or a pro tour is like the best possible day to go just do touristy shit.
Yeah. Nobody's there on Monday.
Yeah. So yeah.
Everybody flew out on Sunday.
Yeah. So
or they fly out Monday morning.
Yeah. So Barcelona was the first time I did that, and I've been super happy. I've done it every major event since. I always just fly out on Tuesday.
Smart. That's what I'm doing in Prague.
Yeah.
Yep. So I get Monday in Prague.
I think London I'm flying out on Wednesday.
London is still TBD on how I want to do it. I'm debating staying longer and just doing some Europe. I hit so there are PTO thresholds at a job. So there's these things called jobs. And when you have one, no, you don't. And when
I play cards and money goes in my bank account. That's a job, right?
No, but yes, it is a career.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a job.
Yeah.
But at some point in time,
I have a boss who's a huge bitch. Can I say bitch?
I've met. Fuck, you can sort of the fuck you are. Are you fucking kidding? You're on Flesh and Pod. What the fuck do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've met your boss. She is kind of a bitch.
Yeah.
And
it's me.
Huge
bitch.
Right.
Just for those of your viewers who still don't understand,
they get them. I think they got the joke. You're not, but maybe to yourself, which I'm a complete giant asshole to myself.
That's true.
But I'm also a giant asshole to others sometimes too. So it all checks out. But I think I might, because I have 8 weeks of vacation to use. So it's take 2 in London, take 1 in Prague, and in Europe around London, take 1 in Prague, and still have 5 left to fuck around with. Yeah,
that could be fun.
I guess. The only hard part is the entire money will flow one direction. Spending 2 weeks in Europe, and that is directly from my pocket to somebody else's.
Yeah, and this is why I justify going to these card game tournaments, because then I can spend money, and then sometimes the money comes back, and sometimes I come back with a new car.
That is true. That did happen once.
That did happen.
You even bought me dinner. That was so nice of you. But I don't do that part though. Because
the buying people dinner?
No, I do that a lot.
Oh, I was going to say, I feel like you bought me dinner before.
I have 100% bought you dinner before. Yeah. But it's the getting the money back from playing the card game part that I'm very bad at.
Oh, you should do that part. That's the best part.
Yeah, when I played Magic all the time because I didn't have a real job, I did that a lot.
Yeah.
But I have a real job. But if my real job lays me off or something like that, and I just have like 20 weeks of severance plus a 60-day working notice, so I basically get, a few months off of working and I still get paid. Yeah, we can be back.
Yeah. Think about how good you could get before London if you just don't work and then fully rely on playing cards for a living. Full disclaimer, don't do that. That's a terrible
We're all romanticizing something that is just a shitty idea.
I don't want Flesh and Pod Legal coming after me.
No, they're still the trash can next to Jordan Kennedy's desk. That same firm as we've all said. Black Hole Legal is still a representation. You're okay.
Okay. Someone's gonna be like, yeah, Mara Faris was on your pod and told me I should quit my job and play cards.
Yeah,
I took that as legal advice.
That's not legal advice. That is the farthest thing from legal advice you can possibly imagine. That's barely fucking advice, much less legal advice.
Yeah. It is pretty great if you get to do it, but Jesus Christ, it's hard.
Oh my God, yeah. Is it ever? One more quick hitter, because I also want to hear your take on this, and I know that as somebody who, your time is obviously kind of soaked up into the game and also art and everything else that you have going. Dyeing your hair, I guess, but
got it redone.
Yeah, see, looks great.
Yeah.
And they did change armory pricing.
They did,
and I think I feel like this is for the better. But
I'm 100% on board. I'm so excited for this.
They're now going to gem packs, so you'll get everybody in the armory. No first, second, third, no real tryharding. Gets a 3-card pack that will have a non-foil, a foil, and an art card. And I think that's really great. Because you can get a Marvel, excited. You can get a cold foil, and they're supposed to be giving us the list of stuff in there shortly. Is there a train outside your house?
Yes.
Nice.
Sorry.
And it's okay. I like trains.
I
love lamp, but at any rate, the gem packs, like, they do something similar in Star Wars Unlimited right now, but the curated list of cards is usually subpar at best. Like, there are a couple of cards that are good that are in decks, but they aren't chase cards by any stretch of the imagination. And that definitely is not what this sounds like.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what this actually ends up doing and what it ends up looking like. But, like, from what it sounds like, I'm very excited about this. I think this is a great move. I like, too, like, something that I think gets kind of minimized in this is it's not only just like, oh, there's no tryharding anymore. They are giving them to every store and then saying, you know your store better than we do. You figure out how this gets distributed.
Right.
And I think that's such a great thing because we do. Like, there's some stores where everyone wants to play very casually and very chill. And then you can just say, like, okay, everyone gets this, there's no real prize for first or second, or if you want to do some, like, small prizes, whatever, But then, like, we're going to have stores that want to play really cutthroat. And then they can say, all right, there's 10 gem packs in the pool. Winner gets 8. Second place gets 2, everyone else gets nothing, and if people are cool with that, then, like, that's the way they want to play, then that's where they're going to play, and that's really awesome too.
Yeah.
And then there's, like, all these, like, levels in between. Like, I think our local store is going to be doing where everybody gets 1, and then winner gets a second one. Something else that's actually going to be really neat, that our store has never really had a problem with, because we tend to have smaller armories, but something that I've heard with some of the larger stores is I've heard from a lot of the larger stores that they don't like running CC armories because, they've got these, like, 30 plus person armory, and running a CC armory would be like 6-7 hours, and that's just like not feasible for a Wednesday night thing. And now those kind of armories, even if they want to be a little bit more competitive, can say, okay, we're going to do this. It's going to be 4 rounds, no matter how many people we get. Everyone who goes 4-0 gets, whatever prize. And, like, that's so much cleaner than just saying we have to have a singular winner every time. And it does. It just, like lets every store kind of tailor their pricing to their player base, and I'm so excited about that. I think that more than anything is what really, really excites me about these new packs.
Yeah, we get to just go ahead and line this up in the hall of LSSWs again, because they have a lot of them. Mm-hmm. And in this case, they listened, because people said, I have so many playmats. Please
Jesus
no.
Christ. I have so many playmats. Please no.
Yeah, I'm right with you.
I have so many. I have a pile. It's like right over there. I have a pile. It's this high of playmats.
Those are rookie numbers. I don't know.
Oh, that's because I stopped accepting them.
Oh, I know. I mean, like, because I still have all of my magic ones.
Oh, yeah.
Along with my flesh and blood
managed to get through. I don't know how I managed to do this, but I managed to get through my entire magic career, of which I played for like 20 years, with like 5 playmats.
I have probably 50 to 60 magic ones.
How did I manage to play magic so long and just dodge playmats?
I don't. Did you? If you only played Star City and didn't play Grand Prix, and then switched over to playing Grand Prix when I stopped giving out playmats, or I mean, there's so many different ways you could do that. With like, because for a while the PTQ prizes went from the pins, and then they became playmats. So I have a bunch of those.
Yeah, I don't know how I managed to dodge that many playmats. I have a handful, but I do not have a like humongous amount of magic playmats. I think I also did sell some of them because they had some amount of value.
Yeah, there were some that were actually pretty chase for a while. I traded a lot of them even for actual cards, and it's like, okay, I guess. But you want this rubber mat? Sounds great.
So many fat playmats. My partner likes to make fun of me because like I top 8 a lot of battle hardens, and battle hardens get you playmats that are like these very rare, very exclusive playmats that tend to be like really expensive. So like every time I do well at a battle harden, he always like asks, he's like, so what'd you win? And I'm like, well, I got, this much cash and this gold foil and this like $200 playmat. And he's like, oh, cool. Do we get to add it to the pile of $200 playmats that you're never gonna sell?
Yes.
And I'm like,
it goes directly on top of the pile. It's like I've got the scarf for a scarf playmat over there.
Look at you getting content creator promos.
Yeah, they did a thing and they sent them to us. And so I'm currently exploring how to best get these out to other people. I've already sent 1 or 2 out to deserving people.
You should give them to all of your podcast guests.
Don't you have your own?
No, I didn't get any.
Oh, okay. Well, I will have some with me in Chicago, but I have yet to decide how I want to distribute these, because usually our whole thing is we definitely want to reward charitable giving, and it's very important to Charmer and I's identity as people, because we neither of us grew up with exceptional amounts of anything. Charmer much worse off than I was in most cases, but yeah, so, and I know a lot of our listeners last time that we did something along those lines for like Good Deeds promos and stuff like that really responded, and we got a lot of people who basically told us, this means a lot to me, because when I was growing up, this place, my parents were having a hard time, or they split up, and this place gave me refuge, or we had to, we got clothes from this place, and it's I just never really stopped and thought to donate to them after, now that I'm a stable human being, in life, and you kind of push me to do that. And now I'll just do it every year. And I'm like, oh, cool. We had a good impact.
That is cool.
It feels
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, if you want a scarf for a scarf promo from Logan Peterson, bring him a scarf and he will give you free cards.
No, but if you donate a scarf or some subset of hats and scarves to a local shelter, then probably.
That might be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some charity for like clothing charities.
Oh yeah,
that you could
100%.
find something too.
So let's get to like the meat of what I wanted to talk about today. Yet again, we spent 45 minutes on pretty much fucking nothing, because that's what we're good at. Let's talk Calling Chicago. That's coming up. I will be there playing. You will be there playing.
I'm very excited.
Charmer will be there.
Oh my god, Charmer still plays this game?
I don't actually.
There's a Star Wars thing probably, right?
No. Nope, he's there for Flesh and Blood.
Wow.
And so this is the first living legend calling, I believe.
Yep, 100%.
And
First living legend calling, very cool.
I'm wondering, a big part of me is curious what the turnout is like in general. Now, I think that anybody that doesn't show up is sleeping on a really good format.
This format's so good. It's so much fun.
Because a lot of bullshit can happen. Now, you can still get Zend for 48 in a turn.
Shockingly, not nearly, like, just having done quite a bit of testing in this format, like, Zen can still just, like, 48. Like, there are still the high rolls. The high rolls definitely exist. Sometimes Kano can do Kano things and just evaporate you. Zen can potentially do the big Zen thing and do the 48 damage, but, like, they're a lot rarer than you would expect them to be. With the restriction of Bonds of Ancestry and the Kano tomes, like, the really, really ridiculous, like, 45 plus damage turns are not actually that common. Which is something that may surprise a lot of people that haven't tested this format a lot. Because I think this format has that reputation of being, like, just
super high rolly. Yeah.
This format feels more like Legacy than Vintage.
Correct. Yep. And it did feel a lot like Vintage not too long ago.
Yeah, it did. 100%.
And this is, that's a good way to put it, is it does feel like you're playing with a turned up version of CC. And it's like I was just got out of a game right before this where I've been tinkering with LL Aurora because Ball Lightning's a hell of a drug.
Ball Lightning is a real tech.
About to say, and did you know that Art of War's legal?
I had heard a rumor. It's not playable in Dromai, so obviously I don't know what that card actually does.
Have you ever read the text on Lightning Greaves?
Yeah.
Art of War has all 3 modes! It's fucking fantastic. And
did you know Art of War has a 4th mode?
Nope, there's only 3.
I've used that 4th mode.
I have used the 4th mode before. I have blocked with a card from Arsenal before. And I hear a cat. Yeah. But trains and cats.
This mic is great.
Yeah, apparently. You don't sound like you, because a lot of times you sound hollow when you'd come on the show.
Bam, look at this.
There you go. That looks space age.
Mic? Yeah.
Is that what brand is that?
Is that toner? I don't know brands.
I have no idea what that is, but fuck it. I guess. Tonor?
I don't know. But yeah, no, I was just using like this thing forever. And apparently I do enough podcasts now that, like, I was complaining. I was like, God, I always sound like shit on podcasts. He's like, get a mic. I'm like, but I'm not a podcaster. I don't need a mic.
You don't have to be a podcaster. Just get a fucking mic.
Yeah, so he just got me this mic. So now
the next thing is you got to get a DSLR to replace your webcam, like I have, and basically have a $700 webcam.
Yeah, I could do that, or I could just stick to my webcam.
Or that. I probably should have done that, but Charmer had a DSLR, and it always made me fucking just upset that he looks better than me anyway. Yeah. And then that just made him even look more betterer. And I was like, motherfuck. Okay, I guess. So I best level up.
I think this is a more incentive for me to not get a better camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess we'll go with it.
You just hide all the flaws in the blurry.
I am nothing but flaws. I am a pile of flaws and cortisol. That is my exact state of being almost all the time.
Something. What is a man but a dirty little pile of secrets? Something.
A dirty little pile of cortisol in this case.
Cortisol secrets. Okay, sure.
Nothing but stress, just like built up as one pile of human.
But
everybody's got to have a plan, and my plan is to just fucking die young.
Yeah.
But the thing I think that's going to be very interesting about this calling is the way that things seem is everybody's expecting the usual suspects. And when I'm talking about the usual suspects, we'll go to, like, let's talk about skirmish metagame minute, right? So we have the week 2 results.
Would you like to read the week 2 results? Notably say, I don't know, the second place on the week 2 results.
We're going to go through the top 5. So the number 1 is Viscerai. So Viscerai's got a lot of fun tools lately. You get to play Bloodsheath Skeleton and do fucked up shit with that. So the
scary thing about LL Vis is you look at every other LL deck and you're like, okay, Zen gets Art of War and Starvo gets Starvo hero text.
Just Starvo.
And Aurora gets Ball Lightning. The LL Viscerai deck looks uncomfortably like a CC Viscerai deck.
But with one piece starts in play.
You get Scalada. But
you get this
you're
dumb
just
fucking
kind of
thing.
playing this ridiculously good CC deck.
Right.
But you do get Scalada. Scalada's kind of wild.
But you get this one busted piece of equipment that just sits on the board until you blow somebody up with it.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Second place, tied for second place, are Bravo Star of the Show and Dromai Ash Artist.
Never heard of that one.
I think you have. Apparently you're not playing enough skirmishes because just second place.
Yeah, I know. Actually, shockingly, none of those are me.
I figured as much.
I actually didn't. I didn't play in any. I played one skirmish, and it was Blitz.
What'd you play in Blitz?
Vincent.
That at all? Oh,
no,
Vincent.
Vincent.
Okay.
I had to think about it for a second because I don't play Blitz ever, and I threw a deck together at the last minute and then split the finals.
There you go. I don't think I haven't played Blitz since last skirmish season where I played Briar. I haven't played a single game of Blitz since.
Yeah, nothing wrong with Blitz. I'm not going to be like a hater on the format. It's just not the format that I typically play. Our locals don't play it very often, so I don't have a lot of reason to play it.
Right. I would also like to announce that Victor died in Blitz, and rest in piss. Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
But rounding out the top 5, tied at 4 wins apiece, are Zen and Briar, which kind of that checks out, right? Yep. Notably, down a little ways is Chain and Prism, and I think that those are going to be a bit higher representation than this shows.
I think so too.
Now, they show a ton of wins from other heroes, though, with 8 different ones, including Jarl and Vincent making the list. So,
also, I think Aurora was very low this week, but did particularly well last week. I think Aurora is absolutely, like, if we're making like the list of like the top tier heroes, I think Aurora is absolutely on that list. She underperformed a little bit this week, but I do think she is in that conversation. Yeah,
Aurora has a bit of a Zen problem because on Zen's pop-off turn, you just can't block enough damage. You have no way to do it. So you have to, if they have a pop-off turn, you lose.
Yeah. Although notably, Aurora's pop-off turn is a little bit more blockable than Zen's, just because she relies very heavily on Ball Lightning.
Yep.
But for decks that don't block particularly well, she is significantly more able to assemble that pop-off turn than Zen, and can do it more repeatedly. Like, Zen can get like his one big like 30 damage turn. Aurora can just go double Ball Lightning, Arc Lightning like 3 times a game.
Yep. And your other, like, so when you talk about like Briar in these cases too, Briar's really like your ads in Briar are effectively, you get Ball Lightning back, which is in this version of Briar, it's just because it's better than a lot of the alternatives. It isn't like that. It's normally not that powerful.
Yeah, I think Aurora is the better Ball Lightning deck. Like, I think if you're going to play the Ball Lightning plan, I think you're on Aurora. Yeah, I think Briar just wants to play a better value game.
Yep. And in this case, like, you're still a Channel Mount Heroic deck where you're just building towards that.
You also get Regrowth Shock, and that card is good.
That card's the reason to play Briar right now. And that card plus Plunder Run are the reasons to play Briar right now.
Yeah.
And because, like, your other Plunder Run deck is Dromai. And Dromai is a fantastic fucking Plunder Run deck.
Yeah, she is.
Let
me tell you the glee that is Plunder Run into Flamecall Awakening. It's nice because you go, all right, here's 6 on hit draw. It's a nice easy breakpoint. You can block it with 2 cards, but you know that I know that you know that I have a 1 in my hand. And you know that I don't want to attack with that 1. I probably just want to pitch it. But I know that you know that if you block it, I'm going to send another 1 right fucking behind it. So you better have an answer for this.
Right. And then otherwise, I'm going to eat your entire hand and your entire turn and probably attack with a few dragons.
Yeah.
Get fucked, nerds.
Yeah.
And so it's very clear to me that Dromai deserves to be towards the top. Starvo still has a prism problem. And I think that if a lot of people figure that Starvo will be heavily represented, there will be a lot of prism.
Yeah.
Because same problem still exists as existed before, and maybe even a little bit better on the prism side.
I will say this though, Starvo has some new tools. The current Starvo deck is pretty spooky. Anyone who's testing Starvo and is not running minimum 6 electrostatic somersaults,
you run yellow and blue.
Even, we've been testing decks with 9. Like,
that's a lot.
That card is really, like, 6 is probably correct, but like that card is real good.
It is.
Like, turns out you have a bunch of restricted cards. When you get to run just say 10 copies of that restricted card, it's real good.
Yep. I guess there's only 2 restricted cards. Well, I guess
the 2 important ones are Crippling Crush and Oakenold.
Yeah,
Oakenold. And then Starstruck got unrestricted.
Right. And Starstruck is scary as shit on its own.
Yeah.
But it's not Oakenold, which
Oakenold and Crippling Crush are like the 2 really big ones.
And being able to bounce back to your hand and do it again is quite strong. Again, we've already talked about Zen and Briar. Oldhim is on this list. I thought that Chain would also be higher up.
So Chain is so first of all, like Oldhim is its own thing. The CYB Oldhim deck is fucking wild.
That and CYB Icelander, are the ones that have just made me want to just claw my goddamn eyes out and play Poison the Well.
Yeah, Chain. I'm not really sure where Chain ends up falling. Chain is like very consistent right now, and that's a really powerful thing, but is just like a little slower than the other aggro decks.
Right. And because it's the new versions of Chain rely on rune gating. And the rune gating is strong, right? Like you get your banishes, you get your shit, but you have to make rune chants.
Yeah. And I'm not even sure, like, so there's like the RuneGate chain list still feel very unsolved. Like there's the consistent the like just standard chain list, and those are just like very good, very consistent, and they do the thing. The RuneGate lists, like everyone is like aware that RuneGate chain exists, but trying to figure out how that deck actually works and works consistently, like no one's quite really pieced it together yet. So I will be kind of curious to see in Chicago if somebody like has a really big breakout RuneGate chain list.
They might. I would say that this is definitely an unsolved format, which was what makes it fun.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to see some wild shit. And I really can't wait. I think that's going to be
excited.
A ton of fun, mainly because you could sit down across from exactly what you expect every round. Or you could sit down across from a weird ass Dorinthia list.
Yeah, this format is absolutely super, super wide. And I think that's one of the things that makes it great. Like it's like I said, I think this feels very comparable to playing like Legacy Magic. You know, you can kind of spend all your time and you can really define the metagame, and you can say like, all right, I've got answers into all of the top 5 decks, and then just play into Belcher 4 turns in a row, you know, like
Belcher.
I liked Belcher.
I love Belcher, mainly because you didn't have to give a fuck about your sideboard.
Yeah,
it was just whatever the funniest cards you could think of were.
Yeah, so like I think this format, like you can do the legwork and you can put as much prep time as you can, but especially like this is a calling, you're looking at, you know, minimum 12 rounds. You're going to play some wild shit in 12 rounds. You're gonna see some stuff that you were not ready for, and you have to be able to think on your toes. And I think that's one of the things that's gonna make this format really stand out, is who was able to adapt the quickest.
I don't know what you're talking about. I only ever play 7 rounds in callings.
That's weird.
Yeah, if you don't make day 2, you only ever have to play 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited, and I think that, you know, and this is also feels weird because we've on this show a lot of the times we talk about regional metagames, right? And so we talk about how, like, you know, Europe plays this, Asia plays this, US plays Guardian, whatever. And I don't think all is like that. I think people just kind of show up with whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's fucking do it.
Yeah,
But
I think there's going to be some people, like I say, I think there's going to be an amount of people that are going to come and try and like figure out what the best deck is. But I think you're going to see a lot of people just, this is my pet deck, this is the deck that I know. And like I say, when we're going into a format where you have to be able to think on your toes, I think there's going to be a lot of people that get punished because they want to play the best deck and they only prepped against the best decks and they just have no idea how their deck plays when you're up against, you know, Great Axe Dorinthia in LL with Art of War or something, you know.
Right, or Pummel New.
Yeah. You just kind of gotta be able to adapt in this format.
No, I agree. Okay, well, let's get out of here. I know that you've had a long night, and I want to just quickly thank my patrons because they deserve to be thanked. Are you a patron? I can't even remember.
No, I should be. I probably should be.
That's fine. I'm not one of your patrons.
Yeah.
I just
we can just mutually not pay each other.
That's great. Yeah, I just get your guides for free off somebody else, but I don't. That's bullshit. I wouldn't do that to you.
I would send them to you anyway. I don't care.
Let's thank our associate producers. We have Andy, Sindra, a very close mutual friend.
Yeah, Sindra Drakaya Fury.
Yes, and
you'll have to change it now. It's Sindra Drakaya
of Fury. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot of trilling of the tongue.
She's not paying you enough money for that.
No, it really isn't. Jacob and the Salty Sea Cat. Our executive producers are Blaze Storm, value member of the Patreon. Lance Good Thrust, Matt Tutokes, Poxanus, Sergeant Eastbjorn, which is still going to be one of my favorite ones to say for a while here. Vintox, Philip, Rich, and Sergeant Swanson. If you're interested in becoming a patron of Flesh and Pod, you can go to patreon.com/Flesh and Pod. Link is in the show notes. There's some fucking number of tiers. Pick one. And if you pay us, then you can come hang out in Fab After Dark, which got really weird last week. And I was here for it. I love the weird, but it got real weird. It was mostly Bryn's fault. But
yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that tracks, right? And
saying the phrase, it's mostly Bryn's fault.
Bryn and Greg.
Yeah.
If you need to contact the show, you can find us on BlueSky. Just search Flesh and Pod. That's the best thing to do. Or
also, get on BlueSky.
Yeah, get on fucking BlueSky.
Just if you're not on BlueSky, get on BlueSky.
It's so much better.
Everyone's there.
It's pretty much it's the entire family went over to BlueSky, and and all you have to do is like literally search for a thing, and the result pops up of the thing you're looking for.
It's nice.
It's crazy.
I don't even get ads for like porn on BlueSky. It's weird.
No, it's just right. It feels nice. It feels like early days of social media good.
Yeah.
Which means it'll get fucked up at some point in time, but join before it gets fucked up, so you can really enjoy yourself.
Yeah, we'll enjoy it for now.
Yeah, if you need to email a show, fleshandpod@gmail.com. That's the easiest thing. The best thing to do is just join our Discord. It's easy. Links in the show notes. Don't have to be a member of anything. You can just click on the link and join. We talk a lot of shit in there about Spotify Wrapped and how CEOs are deleting their contact information from healthcare company pages, stuff like that. And only if you subscribe to the Kierkegaard's Corner channel, though, which is where we go through our periods of existential dread. Mara, where can they find you?
So I'm pretty consistent. I am at Blackwing Studio on just about everything. Mostly, I say I'm pretty active on BlueSky. My DMs there are always open. I have a Patreon where I have a whole bunch of guides where I write way too much detail about all my favorite heroes. We've got a 70-page Draw My Guide, a 60-page -IO guide, a 30-page guide on how I build decks. I feel like there's probably going to be a Vincent guide coming in the future. I also have an Etsy store where I sell my own custom tokens. And yeah, I think those are the big ones. Patreon, Etsy, BlueSky. Do the thing. Go join BlueSky. Feel free to message me, reach out for anything. I love talking Flesh and Blood to literally anybody. I will talk about it all the time, nonstop.
It's facts. This is very true. Yeah, if you need to find me, I'm all the Flesh and Pod socials. Just know that you're talking to me. I still have like personal handles on everything. They're pointless.
Yeah.
This has just consumed all of me at this point in time. So I'm not a real fucking person anymore.
That's true.
But Down and Dirty, this was a very fast FAP.
Yeah.
Which,
good times.
Sometimes you got to get in and out.
Yeah.
But all right, well, I will see you in a couple of days, actually.
Yep. See you in Chicago.
See you in Chicago. And to everybody else, if you see us in Chicago, make sure you stop by and say hi. Otherwise, thanks for listening. We'll probably fucking be here next week because I'm a glutton for punishment.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.